today. Rod, how's it going?
It's going. Definitely some crazy action to start the weekend. The Green Bay definitely some sloppy play there, leaving a whole pile of points on the field in that one. Missing 2-point conversion, missing a field goal. It is what it is. I wish Love all the best. Hopefully it's not too serious, that knee injury, but from the replays I've seen, it looked pretty like that knee popped out. So tough one there. And then if you were on Northwestern, tough finish to that game as well. Crazy finish to that game as well. There goes the under when you see the words OT. But on to a new day, as you stated, loaded cards. So let's get it. I'm excited for today's action.
Pretty loaded. Jorge, how's it going?
I'm not feeling too well. I got bent over on that overtime game. So
me too.
You dealing with the
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. Like I said, all you can do is be into the game at the end, right? That's all any handicapper can really do, and that's what 55% means. So, at the end of the day, you can have your hot streaks, but you got to keep bouncing back at them. There's a lot to say about situational games. There's so much information now. We think that the information is the best out there. But one thing that I noticed, and I'm really paying attention to this year, I've always paid attention to it actually, is just what's the handle on the game. When you see a game like Green Bay, where majority of the action is on a team, but they have the minority of the money, the sharps, the big sharps, the big whale money is on the other side, and if it got on it early, it rarely, it wins more than it loses, and that's what we saw in that Green Bay game yesterday, especially under a field goal. I even texted to a buddy of mine. He's been around forever. He's a poker player and a Vegas local, and I was like, man, this smells rotten. I put out Green Bay at the end, but I was almost going to go the other way. I was going, man, their whole offense is loaded. Moore is Kellen Moore. You know what I mean? We can try to say, hey, it's going to work. It's not going to work. But the sharp money was on him early. And you know what? At the end of the day, that they were on point. Yes, Rod, there was an injury that did happen, but the Eagles are here to stay. I mean, they're not. It's not a downtrend year for the Eagles. So all that being said, it's definitely important to on places where you can get some information. Watch the handle, man. You can sometimes see when the sharps are on some money.
Yeah, of course, some of the sharp books up there as well are indicators as well. So a lot of ways to do it. But it was a little bit too many points there with SMU, right, with BYU.
But BYU, hey, look, they're in the Big 12. And I joked yesterday that they're opening up their recruiting. They have to, and they played well. But look, it's a Group 5 team. And a buddy of mine, he's a big BYU. Our offense is no good. I say, hey, look, your days of having a wide open offense beating up mid-majors is over. You guys are in one of the Big 4 conferences. You need a defensive line. You have it. And you got a quarterback who can complete third down passes. And he can run with the ball when needed. I go, so you know what? Good. They're consistent now. They're supposed to beat SMU. I mean, that line, it was way skewed. I mean, it really. We're not saying that after the fact. It's a Big 4 program against the Big 5, and BYU's in their second year. It should have been -7, on their home field. I have no problem giving them that touchdown just because of how they played last year in their home. It's not like SMU's a small little program. But BYU's here to stay, guys. Again, I think they're going to get to a bowl game this year. If that quarterback can continue to manage games the way he did yesterday, I think they're legit. I think they're going to make an improvement and get a winning record this year.
Yeah, you got to protect that home field. It's something we're used to seeing with BYU, right?
Hey, guys, BYU, the whole mountain. You could go to Dixie. No, not Dixie College. I'm sorry, Utah State. Who else?
Utah Tech.
No, now Utah Tech. No, all the ones up on the mountain. You can go. God, how many of them? I think there's like 4 or 5 of them, especially in basketball, but football too. Utah State, BYU. God, there's another real good small college basketball team up there. My buddy Dave Rice is up at Salt Lake Community College. They're nationally ranked. The winning over the years, winning record against the spread.
And don't forget in hockey, right? There's going to be some high elevation there with Utah.
In Utah,
right? Yeah, Denver, Utah trip, Colorado, Utah trips like in the NBA. That's going to be brutal. Back-to-backs there. So keep an eye there in the NHL, right?
Hey, remember, old schooler taught me only sure bet in sports is the weather.
That's right. Absolutely. All right, guys, we're going to go through the time slots here in these games. The Cappers can give out as many plays as they like within these time slots we give out here. So let's start here with the Nooners, the Nooner games. We're in this slot. We got Georgia Tech, Syracuse, Kansas State, Tulane, Bowling Green, Penn State, Troy, Memphis, Pitt, Cincinnati, Akron, Rutgers, Army, FAU. The big one, Texas and Michigan, Arkansas, Oklahoma State, and that's what we'll end. Those are your Nooner games. We'll start with Rod.
And for me, in these the Nooner game time slot, there's a couple here I like. First one, I like the under in Texas and Michigan. You did get a better number earlier on the week. It's come down to 41.5. And you know what? I still like the under because that Michigan D in the big house definitely can hold up Texas. That offense is pretty good for Texas, and their defense is good. So I think we got a nice little slugfest in between the 20s and that one, and we slide under the 41.5 in Michigan. Lean to Michigan, but I like the under as the play in that one. And the other one I like in this time slot, I like the under between Georgia Tech and Syracuse. People are figuring that's going to be a track meet type game, but at 61, it was 61.5 at things, and I've seen it come down to 61. I think this Syracuse defense can hold up Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech favorite on the road kind of scares me a little bit. Usually you get a boatload of points with, or we have been getting a boatload of points with Georgia Tech. This is a battle between these two schools, and I like the under 61 there in that one. The other one I like here, you know what? I'm going to go with Army. I'm going to take Army outright. I know Florida Atlanta looked half decent against Michigan State in their opening game. Got the cover. It was an under, lower scoring one, but now you're going against an Army team that definitely is very disciplined, and Florida Atlantic's not disciplined. They'll be in trouble, and I think they are in trouble. Solid defensive battle in that one, but I'm going to go with Army. I think Army, the way they run the ball, they can run, control the clock, and beat Florida Atlantic outright. Give me Army on the money line in that one.
There from Rod, we move over to Jorge for the Nooner games.
I'll just stay on that Army game. Army's won 5 games in a row, and the reason they won 5 games in a row is God. I don't have the coach's name. He can bark. That's fine. I'm on the dog. God, he doesn't bark most of the day. Somehow he grabs his toys when he knows when I'm trying to do a show. But hey, I'm on Army. They've won 5 in a row. They went back to their triple offense. I've always said, man, these guys just got to stay with that. It's their stick. They have the right size guys. You can't have real big guys to run that. If you have smaller, quicker offensive linemen, it just creates more gaps in certain spots. And they've gone back to that, but they did a modern wrinkle to it. They'll drop the quarterback in a shotgun. They'll throw him in a pistol. So now it's given the defensive coordinators way too much to prepare for within a week. It's literally impossible. Michigan State, they're a disaster. What, they have 12 penalties last week, but they still got 79 yards rushing. So how many yards did they really get? If you think about it, they probably could have had 300 yards rushing. That's a horrible sign for FAU. So definitely on our Army with that one. There's some +4s out there. It might be gone now, but I did see a +4. Definitely don't mind Rod's money line on that. If it's a 3 for sure or less, but if you get a 4, take the 4. It's just a great point to have. That Syracuse and Georgia Tech, I agree with you. Georgia Tech's got to get tired at some point. They haven't had a week off. The other team's a little bit fresher there at home. Kind of weary laying up points when you've been a dog forever, but Georgia Tech is playing good defense. And I think Syracuse is going to play solid defense as well. So I'd take that one under. Even with some tired legs on that one. And going over to the Texas-Michigan game, I'm a horrible teaser better, but Buddy Miles talked me into it this morning. We were texting. I thought it was a game that the middlers are playing, the big boys that have money. They got that at 3.5. Once they saw that get to 5 or 6, they'll pump it up. Sure enough, before the show came on, it bounced back from there's some 7.5s. It's already bounced back to some 6.5s. Those are the big boys middling guys. That's exactly what that is. It is a game probably a roll, and you see them under it. That's just big money, guys, and that's just from my years of experience being here. There's no rhyme or there's no 100% fact is what that is, but when you usually see that happen, it is what it is. There's no, like I said, that's just the big boys, and they can manipulate numbers, and of course, Billy Walters will get the fame for that, but they do it, and I think that's what's happened in this game. The problem with Texas defense isn't perfect. Remember, they played Colorado State, who's not as good as they were last year. Their interior guys their 3 interior guys only got 1 tackle last week. And I think Michigan's going to be smart enough to be able to exploit that. So they're going to be able to run the ball and move the chains. Not great, but enough to run the clock. So if you take a 6-point teaser on the total in Texas, especially if it's a 6.5 or even a 7, it doesn't matter. I think you got a good chance to catch that teaser.
Yeah, we're seeing some 6.5 pop up right now at Chris, and there's going to be some buyback. Like I said, I think there'll be some big bettors out there with Michigan plus 7.5 and minus 6.5 on the Texas side to try to get that middle of the 7 there.
Minus 3.5. Remember, it started at minus 3.5, but 7.5. That's a 4-point middle.
Yeah, big middle there in that one. All right, let's give you some of the ones that I feel about in some of these games here. I'm with Jorge on the under with Georgia Tech and Syracuse. That Georgia Tech team is playing very, very good defense right now. As a matter of fact, this total is 9 points higher than it was last year. And again, the third down defense looks pretty good by the Orange as well. So I'll look at the under in that one. Also, I'm going to take this dog here with Tulane. Tulane plus the points here against. It's come down from 10 where it was earlier in the week, but I think it's a tough spot on the road for this inexperienced Kansas State quarterback facing a strong Tulane defense. I like Mensah's opening performance, encouraging for me. So I'll be looking here at this at the Tulane here at plus the points as well. That's what I'll be looking at. Mensah beat out that big Texas Oregon transfer to win the job. So we must impress the Tulane coaching staff to be able to do that. Bowling Green and Penn State. I think that's just a blowout game here. I think Penn State's just going to pound Bowling Green in that one. I'll look at the dog here with Troy and Memphis. I'll be taking the points here with Troy plus 18.5. Again, it's just tough for me when you play the type of defense that Memphis has played over the years to lay this type of points. I think it's a very tough spot here to do that. I mean, Memphis has really been a poor defensive team, one of those mid-majors that outscores you. So I'll look at the 18.5 in that spot. Let's see here. Pitt and Cincinnati. I'll take the points there with Pitt. And the Bearcats defense still, to me, is in question. Panthers' run defense is really strong in the opener, and their offense clicked on all cylinders. So I'll look there at Pitt in that spot. And those are the games that I like in that nooner slot. All right, let's continue here on our morning show, joined by Rod and Jorge. Really quickly, Rod, what do you got for sale today on this big Saturday?
Big Saturday, I got a 3-pack, I got a 5-pack, and then I got my 10-star play of the day. We crushed it with the Mariners on the run line to end my 2-game losing streak on my 10-star play of the day. So head on over to Tony's Pick. Use the Pick Tony T. Check out, save 50% off all your purchases over there. And hey, me and Jorge have been hot in college football, so take advantage of that 2-for-1 capper promotional and pair me and Jorge up and definitely have a nice fun day in this college action. I love it. I'm loaded. So get on, as Jorge says, he's going to have a few more late steam plays. So you definitely want to get on that long-term package. That 2-for-1 capper promotional is the way to go. That way you don't miss out on any of those plays. You'll get emailed those late steam plays. So jump aboard. Let's put that money into your pocket.
Absolutely. Jorge, what you got for sale?
Tony, I was a little frustrated this morning. I had computer problems on my end, but I definitely have some late steam games up to have a package up here shortly. Definitely have a 3-pack and definitely going to be going after some totals. I love to play totals. So if someone jumps on that 3-pack of the day, they'll definitely get plenty of late steams, but I'll have some packages up here shortly as soon as we jump off.
I got a best bet on the board also. Got a 3-pack up there, guys. Great time to get the long-term pass. Want to try us out? That weekend pass is really good. You got the Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. You get all of our premium plays there. Of course, we got football, Monday Night Football, all the baseball in play, college football, NFL, big 13-game card on Sunday. So get on board here and use that promo code TonyT at checkout. Will knock 15% off. All right, let's continue on. Next slate of games, we're going to do all the 3:30 Eastern games. Cal Auburn, Jacksonville State, Louisville, Temple Navy, Baylor, Utah, South Carolina, Kentucky, Charlotte, North Carolina, Northern Illinois and Notre Dame, Eastern Mich and Washington, UMass Toledo, Iowa State, Iowa, the rivalry game, and we'll end it there with Michigan State and Maryland. We'll start with Rod.
And we'll start with gotta look at so many games in this time slot, loaded time slot. So where do we begin? Well, let's go with Temple taking on Navy. You look at this Temple team, and they're awful. Let's just call it what it is. They stink. They can't cover the number. They're not that good. And sure, 13 points versus a Navy team. I'm going to lay it. Give me Navy. I think this Navy team can run the football, and Temple, they don't have the offense to be able to keep up. They may play some solid defense, but they're awful. The reason their 2.5 win total is at 2.5 for a reason. They stink. I think Navy. I think they win by 2 touchdowns plus in that one. And then the other one in this time slot, you know what? I'm going to take Eastern Michigan here, plus the boatload of points against Washington. This Washington team, sure, they had a good start to the year, but covering 24.5 points with a gutted offense from what they had last year to try to cover this big giant number. Eastern Michigan's no slouch. They can definitely hang with teams. They got a solid defense, and I think they can slow up this Washington team and cover this big giant number, 24.5. So give me the Eastern Michigan plus the points in that one. Another one in this time slot. You know what? I'm going to go with Michigan State plus the 8.5 with Maryland. I just don't trust Maryland to cover that big number. I think that Michigan State defense is definitely ahead of their offense. But that offense will be able to put up some points on Maryland as well. And getting more than a touchdown with this Michigan State team, I got to take it. Give me Michigan State plus the 8.5 in that one. Another one I like, Battle of Iowa State taking on Iowa. I'm going to take the under 36 in that one. This Iowa defense that was ranked 4th last year is definitely going to be improved and better than what they were last season because they've just added pieces, returned a bunch of old guys, and Iowa State's going to be tough to move with the football in that one. I know Iowa's offense isn't the greatest either, so give me the under 36 in that one. Definitely slugfest between the 20s in that one. And one more. Give me South Carolina against Kentucky plus the 9. I think that's always a battle between those two teams. I think I've seen South Carolina outright Kentucky at times. So when you're getting 9 more than a touchdown with South Carolina and the Gamecocks, I'm going to take it. Give me the plus 9 with South Carolina.
All right, we've gone over to Jorge. These are the games, 3:30 Eastern time.
Yep, I'll stay on that same Kentucky-South Carolina game. 2 scores this early in the season. Both teams won their first game. There's no way I'm gonna lay that with Kentucky. I mean, South Carolina still has a good, solid program, and taking plus 10 is just easy, just right off the bat. I'll jump over to that Iowa State game. I'm taking the dogs in those rivalries. It just is what it is. I mean, it's almost impossible to lean on that game, and if you were early enough to catch a 3.5, that would be a fantastic play on that. That'd be a great play to move on there. The other one that I think might be the most entertaining game of the day, University of Texas San Antonio versus Texas State. The total right now is up about 60.5. Whoa, 60.5 to 64. But I was looking across the board. I'll say it's 60.5. I think that'll be a track meet and a really fun game to watch. Again, I'm just agreeing with Rod today. Back to what I said. If you ran for 180 yards and you had 12 penalties, you can run the ball. So obviously they barely beat Florida Atlantic. I think that number to Maryland's an overcorrection. I don't see them being anything more than equal programs, really, except with the new coach over at Iowa, and I don't give that 10 points. So I'll take the plus points there on these teams that are playing within their conference. And I think that was the only one. Let's see, maybe one more. Nope, I'll leave it at that. That's good.
Leave it at that. All right, that from Jorge. Okay, I'll tell you the games that I like in this time slot. I'm going to take the points here with Cal. Cal played them tough last year. The Auburn Tigers, I did say. We're looking here with Thorne. I was never a big fan of Thorne when he was at Michigan State. This is an experienced Golden Bears team that really showed the ability to get points on the board. So I'll look at Cal plus the points over in that one. And I'm going to be looking here at this Baylor-Utah game. I like the points with Baylor. Baylor is an experienced team. And Finn is a dual-threat quarterback that keep the Bears competitive in this spot. 18 starters return. Aranda's on the hot seat here. We know the quarterback's coming back here for this Utah team, but it hasn't played football for a while. There going to be some game rush. They're placing it pretty good. Well, Aranda hasn't shown recently, but I think we may see a return to form here from this Baylor defense, and especially because they're experienced. They got another big summer of preparation here for this game. So I'll take the points here with Baylor in that spot here against Utah. And that Northern Illinois Notre Dame game. I like that one going over the total. I think Notre Dame's physicality on the offensive line will open up plays in the running game. They averaged nearly 6 yards per rush against an SEC defense on the road last week. That's pretty impressive to be able to run the football like that. I like that one going over. I'm with Rod there with Eastern Michigan taking all those points. That's a lot, plus 25 there against Washington. And I'll lay the points with Iowa's been a really good home team. Healthy McNamara, a change in offensive coordinator, 2.5 right now. I'll take Iowa in that spot to get the cover. And those are the games here that I like in that time slot. All right, let's continue on. We got one of these offshoot. We're going to go with some of these offshoot time slots before we get to the primetime games. These are really the games the books don't want you to bet on because they're kind of off the radar. All right, and we'll get a few games here. So we're going to go from 4 Eastern to 6 Eastern before we we're going to go from 4 Eastern to 6:30 Eastern time. Again, these are the games the books don't want you to bet. UTSA, Texas State, Middle Tennessee State, Ole Miss, Marshall, Virginia Tech, Central Michigan, FIU, East Carolina, Old Dominion, South Alabama, Ohio, Sam Houston State, Central Florida. We start with Rod.
Yeah, and then this time slot, this weird offshoot time slot. Give me Sam Houston plus the 21.5 against UCF. I think that Sam Houston defense, what we seen last year, they got a solid defense, and they're starting to click on offense. So I expect them to be able to hold up UCF. I know UCF's going to roll and run heavy is what they'll do.
No.
And I think that Sam Houston can slow them up and keep it a 2 touchdown. I think UCF wins the game. I don't see any visions of Sam Houston outrighting UCF in that one. But keeping it close, I think Sam Houston can definitely keep it close. Blowout. Albany, you're in trouble today. Western Virginia going to be pounding you. They're going to take out a little bit of frustration after last week's loss here in this one against Albany. 32.5. I think West Virginia can score 49 on their own and easily cover that number. So I'm going to lay it with West Virginia in that one. Same with Miami. I think the Hurricanes. I think they can easily score up into the 50s on their own against Florida A&M. I don't see Florida A&M keeping that close. So give me a blowout in that one. A closer one. You see Eastern Carolina and Old Dominion. I'm going to go with Eastern Carolina here in the dog. They're always battling, scrappy. Both teams off to a good start, but I like Eastern Carolina. It's just one of those situational spots that I have a thing where road dogs of like a little short road dog of less than 3 is where I like to be. So give me Eastern Carolina plus the points in that one. And that same system follows with UTSA and Texas State. The Roadrunners and Texas State both failed to cover in their first meeting, but the Roadrunners, I think, are just a slightly better team than the Bobcats in that one. So give me the Roadrunners. You can take the point if you want, but I'm just going to take the money line. I think UTSA wins it outright.
All right, there from the Rod. This offshoot time slot before the primetime games. Jorge, we go from 4 Eastern to 6:30 Eastern.
Well, I'm gonna go back to that East Carolina Old Dominion game. That Old Dominion has got a great program, man. East Carolina, I love betting them under. I just don't know if I could take them straight up to win. Old Dominion didn't win last week, even though they were phenomenal last year. I think at home they might pull out the win here. I mean, it's mostly -1. It's all over the place, really. I see plus 2.5. I see -2. Obviously, if you could get at even money at home, I think they're just as good as East Carolina. East Carolina, until they can score some points on the road, kind of hard to take them in that spot. But can't disagree with the dog, but I just at plus 1.5 lean that way. Another dog that I like, especially if we can creep up to 21, is Marshall. Virginia Tech, not very impressive last week, and they're going to bounce back here after a loss, laying -20. Nah, there's no way I could pay it. I would have to lean towards Marshall here. Another game that I liked in this area. Let's see. God, I'm going to go against, if I can get -21 on UCF, if anyone wants to buy it. Sam Houston State does have a good defense. They won. There's no doubt about that. But this UCF team is big. I mean, there's a reason they're in the Big 12 now as opposed to that one. Even when they were mid-major, they were huge. And one thing about them, they don't ease up on teams. They don't play all their players. They keep their foot on the pedal. They like to run up scores. So, again, not a huge play, just a lean. Of course, you'd have to get it at the 21. I'm not going to lay that hook on that. But I think they would definitely be a shot there. I don't think they'll take their foot off the pedal without any mistakes. I think they might be a little bit dominant in that particular spot. let's see. I had one more that I liked in this ugly spots. That's Tony was saying they don't want you to bet them. And let's see. Ohio lost. They're at home. Granted, they've been a pretty good team the last few years. They're not supposed to be as good this time, but Southern Alabama was supposed to win, and they did not. If I can get a home dog here with Ohio being able to win on their home field to run the ball, I'll take the Bobcats.
There from Jorge. Okay, I'll tell you what I think about this offshoot time slot. I'm with Jorge on that UTSA Texas State going over. Lots of passing. Quarterback situation is sound with Texas State behind McLeod. McCown was effective in the opener for the Roadrunners. Remember, replacing Harris. Harris was injured a lot last year. So James Madison transfer McLeod here with UTSA is an effective quarterback. He put up some really good numbers when he was there at James Mad. So I like that over in that game. Marshall and Virginia Tech, I'm going over the two. You give up the way you looked off defensively against Vandy. Maybe Vandy's better, but that did not impress me. That pass defense still an issue. Jones, he had that. They said he had a leg injury. It was the cramping. It was cramping, so that you can recover for that in that spot. So I'll look for the over there in Marshall and in Virginia against Virginia Tech, and in this Central Michigan and FIU game, I'm going to go under here. It's just FIU just has inefficient quarterback play. They just can't get the quarterback going. It's a big test here for the FIU quarterback and Central Michigan quarterback Lapis. Couldn't win the starter's job at Iowa. Now heading to a road game to try and improve this poor passing game from last year. Just not good. I'm not buying it. I'll go under in that one. Also in this time slot, I'm going to look at taking the +2 here with Ohio against South Alabama. Ohio's rushing numbers were impressive against a power conference team in Syracuse last week. And boy, South Alabama gave up 550 yards to North Texas. That's a concern for me. So I'll look here at Ohio in that spot. All right, let's continue here on our show. We're going to hit into our primetime games. The way we'll do it here is we'll just cover the 7 Eastern, and then we'll close out the rest after that. So we're going to cover just in this slot, we're going to cover the 7 Eastern games, 7 p.m. Eastern game, South Florida, Alabama, Buffalo, Missouri, Virginia, Wake Forest, Kansas, Illinois, Georgia, Southern, and Nevada. I think you might have got a pick on that during the week. San Jose State Air Force, UAB, UL Monroe, Tulsa, Arkansas State, Lafayette, and Kennesaw State, who covered last week. We start here with Rod.
Yeah, and I'll start with that Kennesaw State Louisiana game. You look at Kennesaw State; they did get a cover in their opening game there against UTSA. It was 28-13, something like 28-16 in that one. And Kennesaw got the cover, and I don't trust this Raging Cajun teams to try to cover a 2-touchdown spread. So you're getting over 2 touchdowns here with Kennesaw State, the home team. I like it. You look Kennesaw, one of those jog teams that definitely come up and surprised you. Louisiana has lost 5 of 6 games as a road favorite. So definitely don't want to be laying over 2 touchdowns with Louisiana on the road. So give me Kennesaw plus the points in that one. And definitely not my favorite time slot, and the one we did talk about earlier. I still like the over. It's still rising. It was at 56.5, went up to 58 in spots. Georgia Southern, Nevada, I think we see a whole boatload of points. Georgia Southern defense definitely not the greatest, so Nevada definitely will be able to put up the points. Georgia Southern offense is definitely going to put up some points as well. So track meet, I think we easily get into the 60s in that one. So take the over. I see it at 58 right now. Yeah, definitely scoop on that because I think we still easily get up into the 60s plus in that one. And let's see what else we got in this time slot. A couple more. You know what? This Missouri team, I think they just run roughshod right over Buffalo. They are that good. They're solid defensively and offensively. I think they can score 50-something on their own versus Buffalo. Buffalo did get the cover in week 1, but going against Missouri here, tough task. I know it's a boatload of points to lay, but I will lay it. This Missouri team is for real. I think they win and cover by 41. So give me it there. I like the under between Virginia and Wake at 55.5. That's just too many points. We know Virginia can play some solid defense, and I'm slowing up that Wake Forest offense that I just don't trust. Give me the under. 55.5 in that one.
There from Rod, we move on over to Jorge, 7 Eastern time.
Yeah, I agree with that Missouri pick. Buffalo, I'm not even sure how they won, but hey, kudos to them. They found a way to pull out a victory. Missouri, when you look at a team and the total in that one's like 51.5, when you look at one of these big spreads, you don't even really consider the smaller score. You take a look at it and you say, can this team score 50? Can they score the total by themselves if it's a shutout? And as long as you're not over a key number, which this one is not, you can take your shot there and just look at a little bit of history. Missouri's going to run it up. You know, they're not one of the top teams in the SEC. So when they can beat up on somebody, they take advantage of it. So I definitely agree on that spot. Yep, I did put out Nevada earlier in the week. They're just doing a great job to start their season at 1-1. They were picked to be at the bottom of the Mountain West Conference. That's not going to be the case. I'm not even sure UNLV is the best team in the state just yet. They will have to prove that. UNLV is going to be able to have to throw the ball like they did last year. And we kind of saw some hiccups in the first game, but hey, it's a new quarterback. But the defense is playing well. Not in that Georgia Tech Nevada game. I don't think Georgia Southern goes back over the 50-yard line to play defense. I think they just walk off the field the way they gave up all the yards to Boise State in their last game. So take definitely on the over on that one. And Nevada, if you can get a -3 or even money line, Air Force over San Jose State. San Jose State played Sacramento State. They did pull out the victory in that one, but Air Force is going to run that triple option. Again, when you only have 1 week to prepare for these guys, it's not going to be to your advantage. I like the lean in with Air Force in that one. And let's see. I don't like this slot as much as you do, Rob. Let's see. Anything else? Did you dip into the 4:30 games?
No, we didn't. We stopped. We just stopped at 7.
I'll stop there.
Yeah. We stopped there.
Okay.
All right. Good there. All right. So I'll let you know what I think about these games here in this slot. I'm going to take USF plus those boatload of points. Hey, USF played Alabama tough last year. And, Brown, the quarterback, showed improvement here after that game. It was 17-3 last week, and he developed really well after early that sauce because USF was a team that was heading in a poor direction, but he turned it around there. So I'll look at taking the boatload of points. I'm with you guys. This might be the blowout game of the week, Missouri. This one looks to me like the one that's going to be the blowout game. So I'm with you there. Buffalo is a team that's really inexperienced. They lost their quarterback as well. This is a team that's loaded against a mid-major team that's pretty much lost a lot. So I'm with you guys there, and that's in that game. Man, this Virginia defense, I don't know if I trust them. I'll take Wake Forest there in that game against Virginia. I'll lay the 1.5 there with them. We got more quarterback stability as well for this Wake Forest team, digging with Kern. So that'll be my play there. I like the home dog Illinois getting the points here against Kansas State. Altmaier is a run threat that fits the Bielema style with that ground and pound. His passing was effective, and they defended well last year. So I'll take the points in one of those games. It could come down to, Bielema game at home. It's going to be a 2-point decision either side. Right? I wouldn't say money line it because it's going. I just think it's going to come into a one possession game, less than a field goal. It will be the result of that one. So I want the points in that game. And I'm with you guys on Nevada here, plus against Georgia. So that at a pick 'em right now. Wolfpack, they have the better run defense of these two teams. You look at the Eagles, this is a team that gave 71% completion rate, 13 yards per pass attempt last game in that win in that loss against Boise State. Gave up a lot of yards in that one. And I'll look at the Air Force at home in that spot here against San Jose State. Both teams really lack experience, but I just think it's going to be a challenge for this Spartans defense to defend this attack by the Falcons. So I'll look at Air Force in that spot. Those are the games that I like in that slot. All right, let's continue here on our morning show. We're going to close out college football right now, and we'll go from the 7:30 game all the way to the last game on the board. So what we've got covered here will be Western Michigan, Ohio State. It's the one between Colorado and Nebraska, Tennessee and NC State in that neutral field there in Bank of America Stadium. Houston, Oklahoma, App State, Clemson, Boise State, Oregon, Texas Tech, Washington State, Liberty and New Mexico State, Texas Tech, Washington State, Oregon State, San Diego State, Mississippi State, Arizona State, Utah State, and USC. We'll start here with Rod.
Yeah, you look at this big giant time slot, and I'm going to lay it with USC. Give me the 28.5. I think they run right over Utah State. That defense that we've seen in week one, people are like, "Oh, don't overreact." I'm not going to overreact. I think they were that good, and I think they can slow up Utah State, and that offense can easily just continue to roll. And USC cruises to the 31-plus point win in that one. So I will lay it with USC in that one. And then the other one, Boise and Oregon. You know what? I'm going to lay it with Oregon. It's bounced around and it's sitting at 19. That Boise State team, I watched them give up some defensively. They're not very good. I got to give it to Oregon. I think Oregon defensively will be able to slow up Boise State because in that Georgia State game last week with Boise, they definitely they had the lead and had a nice cover, and the defense just kind of was like, and let them run roughshod over them. So if Oregon or if Georgia Southern can run right over you, well, this Oregon team can run right over you. I know Oregon didn't get the cover in that first week, but I like them to get the cover and win by at least 3 touchdowns versus Boise in that one. I would lean to an over 2. I think we got to track because I think Boise can add some points. And you look at this coin flip price, Texas Tech and Washington State. I don't know. That looks funny to me. Washington State looked real good in that first game, and they definitely can move offensively. Somebody knows something in that one. I'm going to take Texas Tech on the money line. I think they come into Washington and beat the Cougars. So give me Texas Tech in that one. Moving up the board. You know what? I like Clemson here in the spot over App State. I know that Clemson defense was solid. The only part that's scary is that offense, but going against App State, I think they could be able to move the ball. And defensive-wise, look at what Clemson did until they kind of basically they just threw in the towel versus Georgia late, as they had no doubt. And then when you lose, when you get to a point in the game where it's like, we're pretty much done. We've seen the defense take the foot off the gas, and Georgia just piled it on. And this Clemson defense is for real, so I think they can slow up App State, and the offense can get enough to cover. Now that it's come down, it means there's been a movement of people jumping on App State. I'm going to go the other way. Give me Clemson plus or minus the points in that one. And then Houston and Oklahoma. Houston looked awful in that first week. So usually week 2 is don't overreact, as they say. But I think Oklahoma is for real. That Sooners defense can slow up Houston in that one. And at 27.5, I know I've seen some people buying back on Houston because it was at 29.5, and now it's come down to 27.5. I think Oklahoma can win by 31 plus and run right over Houston. I think Houston is that bad this year. Give me Oklahoma, lay it. And then the big game, Colorado and Nebraska. You know what? Now that it's less than a touchdown, I think Nebraska, they remember last season, and I think they win by a touchdown. Everybody's, everywhere I see has been all Colorado. Colorado did last year. They beat them last year. They did it. They can do it again. No, they can't. That in the Colorado defense stinks. Stinks. Absolutely stinks. Give me Nebraska, minus 6.5.
There from Rod. We move on to Jorge. We're going 7:30 Eastern time to the final game, Utah State, USC.
I put out plus 1,400 with Fresno State last week. Man, you can't bet against Appalachian State. Not in this kind of game. This is kind of their Super Bowl. And one thing, a good trend to follow, guys, is when a ranked team that really believes they had a chance to win their conference, ACC, which Clemson did, they're just down the next game. It's like now their season is transformed a little bit. You know what I mean? Not that they shouldn't beat Appalachian State. They should. But, the motivation's gone. So when you're a Big Ten program or a program that you really expect to win double-digit wins, when you lose that first game, coming back in that second one's tough. Their motivation's gone a little bit. They are expected to win. But you know what? You go jump in that locker room at Appalachian State. They've been giant slayers. And then see if they think that, if you think the average attitude is we don't have a shot to win this game, you're way off. They think they can beat any top team, and they get up for it. So, again, that's just my David.
Well, I didn't say they wouldn't get up for it. I definitely didn't say they wouldn't get up for it.
Don't put words in his mouth.
but you're going to run into a brick wall of Clemson defense. We're going to see what.
I don't know. There was a whole lot of bricks missing last week. So
they gave up. They took the foot off the gas. As you said, the motivation.
They walked through the gate last week. They didn't go around the wall.
Well, they left the barn door. Somebody left the barn door open.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, David versus Goliath. I'd take the plus points. I wouldn't say take them on the money line. I just like the big side of them. I'm a big fan of all these small schools that actually can pull it off. Well, and we've known Boise State to do that over the years, but yeah, over 60.5, guys. As much as I would love to take the dog in this one, like I do in the rivalries, and this is a rivalry. This is poor man versus rich man over there at Nike, backing up everything they do in Eugene. But the total over for sure, 60.5 shit. Oregon, excuse my French. Oregon might actually score that one. A lot of these quarterbacks, we talked about this in the last couple of days, guys. Even big name quarterbacks going to a new school struggled a little, right? They didn't put up any points, but not Mr. Levitt down at ASU. Wyoming came in historically a solid program, not a whole lot saying that they were going to be horrible this year, and just smoked them. So he was one that actually came down to ASU. I have a buddy of mine, it's a hardcore ASU fan, went to school there, never left. And he said the coach didn't let him have a big head in this game. So Mississippi State's coming in. But come on, SEC, not a chance, man. 7 points, that already came down. I expect this to be a shootout. Levitt is playing well. He's slinging the ball around. That's at 60.5, man. It's a wild, wild west, I'll call the bottom of this card, guys. And as much as I love the totals. But what we saw with USC, that secondary still isn't very good. The LSU was able to throw all over them. Utah State's going to sling the ball. We know that. And USC is going to get their points. I mean, they look phenomenal. I was on them last week. And while there was some good defense from the LSU side, that's not going to exist with Utah State. I'll take the over in that game as well.
Over that from an opener of 61.5. There's some 64s out there. So that seems really where the money is coming in that one. But on this slot here, the games I like here would be Colorado, Nebraska. I'm there with Rod. I'm going to go ahead and lay it with Nebraska. Really, for the Buffs, their offensive defensive line are going to get a real big test here. How good are they, right? Colorado's poor running game is concerned, and this Nebraska coach.
Let me jump in. I forgot to hit on that game. One thing I noticed last week in the second half, Dion got really smart. Did you notice he took his foot off the pedal in the second half? All of a sudden, they were dinking and dunking and just moving the ball down the field. He was what's the name of the coordinator? He's got the ex-pro guy.
Oh yeah, the pro.
Yeah, running his offense. Oh god,
his son. He's a son of
Schumer.
Yeah, might be Schumer.
Maybe I think it might be. Dude, they dinked and dunked. Why? Because get their defense off the field. All of a sudden, they went into a 6-7 point drive. Guys, that was a weakness to me. I was like, their defense still isn't there. And I'm with you guys on Nebraska for all things you said, especially in their touchdown. It's a revenge game, and their quarterback's a stud. They're showing a video of him how he has some Mahomes in him, throwing off weird angles and sidearm and stuff. And why I don't think he's Mahomes, he's got some potential, and I think they're going to be fired up.
Yeah, Dylan Raiola there at quarterback, something we haven't seen. Really sharp quarterback play there for Nebraska. All right, in this slot here. Also, I'll be looking here at I'm going to lay it with Tennessee here in this neutral site game. Don't be fooled by the game. It's a neutral site. They're playing back at America Stadium. This will not be on NC State's home field. But for me, that Wolfpack defense is a major concern here against a really good Tennessee team. Really, the battle up front, to me, would favor SEC. You're talking about a Vols team that ran the ball for 9 yards of carry. I mean, they had an amazing running game last year. I mean, I think they're just going to – I think it really is a battle there of the front four, the offensive line, defensive line game, and I just see Tennessee dominating that part of it. So I like Tennessee in that spot, and I might look at San Diego State as a home dog. It's a tough spot for this Oregon State team to go into. And I think the new first-year coach here this is going to be a big game for him. I'll look at the 6 now. You can get with San Diego State. I'll look at that number there. I think it's a tough spot for Oregon State. Of course, in the Pac-2 right now, losing the amount of losses they took. It's really hard to say the Pac-2 team going to the Mountain West.
First time I've heard that. I like that.
The Pac-2 team there. And that's how I'll look at those slots.
And I'll tell you, the Mountain West Conference, Oregon State got gutted. They were probably one of the biggest teams that got gutted, worse than everyone on everything. Mountain West is going to try to, still say, hey, we beat a team that was in the top 4. So San Diego State will be very fired up in that spot.
Hey, they renewed their 2 games against the Pac-2 next year. I read that this week. So they're going to play, or Mountain West will be playing Washington and Oregon State again next year. All right, we got through college football. Before we get into baseball, Rod, with you guys, any closing thoughts here on this college football card? We'll start with Rod.
Yeah, look at this one. There's definitely some few good games here on this one. And then, you know what, the one that we missed, give me Merrimack plus the 15.5 against UConn. UConn didn't cover in there that first week. They did get the win, but I think this Merrimack team, you know what, scrappy bunch. I'm going to take the plus 15.5. I think they got a shot to outright UConn. UConn's not that good. They play basketball, but football, not so good. I'm going to take the Merrimack plus the 15.5. There's one of those. I may actually sprinkle a little on the upset of UConn in that one. Merrimack.
That's why they stopped. That's why they stopped that talk. They stopped the talks of UConn going to the Big 12. They said, "Wait, you got to look at the football team." The talks have been stopped. The talks have been stopped there. All right. Or any closing thoughts on this college football card?
Yeah, he beat me on a David versus Goliath. I can't come up better with anything than Merrimack, dude. Shoot, I'll go back to Navy. Temple's just horrible. You know what I mean? I historically was a bully better. I've turned more into a dog these days, but I'll still be a bully better. And if Navy can run the ball, I mean, they just plug in whatever the next running back is, and it wears the defense down so much they start going for 10 yards a chunk. Even 20 yards a chunk. It's wild to watch them in the fourth quarter. It's amazing what they do to those other teams. So, yeah, if it's not 14, I think Navy's – they might
Stop hitting me, please.
In the first quarter. They might hit.
Right.
That's right. All right. We'll continue here on the morning show as we now turn our attention over to baseball. So, Steve Duncan, if you're out there, we're going to baseball. So, we're going to get started here. All right. Jorge's going to let's see you later, Jorge. Let everybody know what you got for sale. Oh, he checked out.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. What do you got for sale?
Late steam. My packages will be up here half hour, 15 minutes. Late steam throughout the day, guys. I'm going to focus on that. Tony told me the rules on that. And I'm going to be reacting a lot to some of the line moves. So I'm going to have a lot of fun all day long.
There we go. Check it out, Jorge Gonzalez over at Tony'sPicks.com and get on board with the long-term passes. That's great value now with all these sports overlapping: NFL, college football, baseball. We're heading down this kind of stretch. You know, we're gonna see. We'll have the Dodgers. I just saw Gavin Stone hit the injured list now. So the Dodgers
over. Kid, bet the over. Dodgers. No. And they're not all hitting right now. When they all start hitting, they're gonna be scoring 7 runs a game. Yep.
But we got to wait and see it. So but the pitching. Let's see how the pitching staff goes here. So concerns there. All right, let's continue here. Have a great one, Jorge. We'll talk again tomorrow with NFL, the 13-game card tomorrow. So let's get to the baseball here. Ron, of course, we're waiting for Steve Duncan. Said he would join us here for the baseball. So we got the link. Check your email for the link. I send it out to you for the Saturday link. All right, let's continue here with this baseball card. And we'll start here with let me make sure that my computer is set showing the time slots so I don't have any screw-ups here. Let me just hit one more key here. There we go. So the first set of games will be Game 1, Nationals, Pirates, Yankees, Cubs, Rays, and Orioles. Oh, here's Steve coming to us just in time.
So we started Yankees and Cubs. Look, Clark Schmidt. Clark Schmidt makes his return for the Yankees on the mound. And we got some choice words. Clark Schmidt, we know what you're eating. And definitely, I'm going to go take the Cubs in that one. His first start back return for the Yankees. And it's a minus 150 favorite. Yeah, no, not going to do it. We know what this Cubs bats have done, and they've definitely been hot. So I'm going to take the Cubs over Clark Schmidt and the Yankees in that one. And now we get we're going to see the Washington Pittsburgh game was postponed. So now we see Doug Herza for Washington versus Ortiz. And you know what? Ortiz has been pitching lights out for the Pirates. So I got to go with the Pirates. As I said yesterday, going to continue to fade hers. As Tony calls them, babyface hurts. I'm going to fade you because you're not been good. You did have a little run there where you looked half decent, but give me the Pirates there in that one.
Yeah, from Rise. Steve, how's it going? We've got 3 games today. We're doing it in slots of 3 here. Nationals, Pirates, Yankees, Cubs. This is game 1 with the Nationals, Pirates, and then Rays and Orioles.
Okay. I'm not used to doing it this way, but it's cool. I'm here thin with the Cubs, but I'm also like the over in that one as well. The Cubs bats kind of cooled off a little bit, but I think they're going to heat up quite a bit against Schmidt first time came back. And the Yankees can hit the sod, no problem. So I like the over 7.5, and I like the Cubs. And what do we got? Pittsburgh
game 1. Yeah, Pirates Nats game 1.
Oh yeah, Nationals game 1. That's Ortiz. Against Hertz. Ortiz has been pitching fairly well. The Pirates are actually in a really good form right now. So I'm going to keep on rolling with them, and I'll go with the Pirates on that one. And next one
was Rays Orioles.
Rays Orioles. I like Eflin. I like Pepio as well. I would probably lean to the under like I did yesterday in this game, but I'll trust the Baltimore's bats at home over the Rays lineup, and I'll take the Orioles.
Yeah, from Steve. The way I look at these games, I like babyface Hers, but not in this spot. I don't think the team's playing well behind him right now. Look at Pittsburgh in game 1. Nats have lost 5 of their past 6, and they're struggling at the plate. And, Pittsburgh's owned the Nats here, winning 6 of their past 7. And so I'll look at the Pittsburgh here in game 1. And in the Rays-Baltimore game, I'm going to look under there with Baltimore and Tampa Bay. Orioles have played well against the Rays. They won 7 of 8, but I do like Pepio's form right now, and Eflin's form has been great, allowing 2 earned runs or fewer in 4 straight starts. Tampa Bay's gone under in 13 of 17 on the road. Both bullpens form good, so I'll look at under in that one. All right, let's continue here on the morning show as we get ready here for the next slate of games. Here, so we're going to get 2 in the next slate. Boy, this I hope they got their sleep here. Tigers, Athletics, Reds, Mets, Phillies, and Marlins. We start with Rod.
Yeah, you look at the Detroit-Oakland one, and definitely played late into the night in that one, and now I have to play early. So I like the under 8 in that one. It doesn't matter who's pitching for who, but I'd also lean to Oakland, as we said yesterday with Detroit. Skubal pitched well, but just didn't get quite enough run support to get the win in that one as Oakland came back and won 7-6 in game 1. So I would go back to Oakland, but I like the under 8. Low scoring, tired ball players on the field. Some bad swings coming where you're swinging some pitches that you shouldn't because your brain isn't quite awake. So I like the under 8 there. And where do we go? We said Cincinnati and the Mets.
Cincinnati and the Mets.
Cincinnati and the Mets. Jacob Junis on the mound for Cincinnati. We haven't seen him pop his head up in a while. September, he's had a couple starts, but for me, he's a reliever, right? So you're going to get a bullpen game for the Reds in that one. And the Reds bullpen? The Reds having a bullpen game doesn't sound like fun for me. So the Mets have been hot. I'm going to take the Mets on the run line as I think they can get to Junis early and knock him right out of the game. I think Junis goes a couple innings and then they throw somebody else in, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Give me the Mets on the run line on that one. And then the Astros woke up and they mowed down Arizona. And with Rodriguez on the mound, I think we starting to see some regression from Rodriguez. And Kikuchi, for some reason, he's got the resurgence, come over to Houston and pitched well. So I think he has another solid outing. I don't think the Astros over Arizona in that one.
Yeah, from Rod, we move on over to Steve.
Now the Tigers have put a bad taste in my mouth the last 2 games. First, they get the grand slam to kill my card against the Padres, I believe it was, and then I took them yesterday. I just can't. I'm taking the Athletics out of spite. Screw you. Tired of you. All right. Yeah, I probably won't bet it, but just out of spite. D-backs Astros. Kikuchi's my man. Kikuchi is my man. I loved him in Toronto. Everybody wondered what happened to him in Toronto. Well, there was trade rumors. As soon as the trade rumors started going, Kikuchi started to fade a little bit. He didn't have this great stuff, and he wasn't hitting the mark like he was before. I said when he goes to Houston, he's going to kick ass, and I'm taking him today. Houston at home with Kikuchi on the mound. I know that Arizona's got a great lineup, but he'll take him. I'm taking Houston on the money line. And the Mets, I'm going to go first 5 run line. Pitching, not a great pitching matchup. Like Zawacki said, Cincinnati at the bullpen game is like, you might as well just put your worst pitcher in there. They have a terrible bullpen. Quintana is up and down. Actually, his last, I think, 4 games or so, he's been pretty good, too. So, Mets need it. Mets are going to win. I'll take Mets. I'll take them both. I'll take full game run line and first 5.
Yeah, from Steve. All right, we just got a splash here. Russell Wilson doubtful tomorrow. That just came across my line service. So tomorrow. Pittsburgh Steelers, Wilson doubtful tomorrow. All right, in the baseball here, I'm going to go under. This would have been an under, but extra innings screwed me yesterday in that Detroit-Oakland game. Herders allowed 2 runs or fewer in 4 straight. The Beto shuffle. I'm going to continue to be with Beto shuffle, but I'm not going to take him. I'm going to take the under here because this Detroit bullpen has pitched very well of late. So I'll look under in that one. The Astros and Houston going to go over again here. We look here at Rodriguez, past 2 starts, 8 earned runs, 2 homers, and 9 1/3 innings. And the D-backs, if you're struggling, man, the D-backs will hit you. This isn't Framber. This isn't Framber on the mound here. I mean, listen, Framber will do that to a lot of good hitting lineups because Framber's and that ball movement right now is sick right now. If you're watching Framber's, those pitches right now, that ball's moving all over the place, and he's been very effective. So I'll go there over in that one. Reds and Mets. I'll take the plus money based on the fact that Quintana has not been in the best form right now over his past 4 home starts. At home, 17 earned runs, 7 homers, and 20 1/3 innings. New York's won 7 straight. Reds, look at the past 10. The Reds have been hitting, so I'll take a look at the Reds in that spot. All right, and we'll continue. I don't think we got to the Phillies game, so we'll continue here on our morning show as we get to the next series of games here. I think we'll have Phillies, Marlins. We'll go Washington Nationals and Pirates, Angels and Rangers, and we'll start off with Rod.
Yeah, you look at this one in this spot. I'm just going to take Philly, the Marlins. Yikes! They got spanked and then bounced back in this spot. I doubt it. They're dead to me. That dirty tricks committee have Cabrera all listed, and then you just decide late that you're going to throw some rookie up there to start, and you see what happened. You got spanked. Well, guess what? You're going to get spanked again. Give me the Phillies -2.5. I think they whoop up on the Marlins again in that one as they can feel some pressure from the Braves moving forward. So Phillies want to lock things up. So I think the Phillies to beat up on the Marlins in that one. A little bit of payback as the Marlins have owned the Phillies recently as well, too. So Philly getting their payback in that one. And in game 2, I'm going to go right back to Pittsburgh. Keller on the mound. I think he has a solid start here for the Pirates. I think you take Pittsburgh in both game 1 and game 2. Definitely come on ahead, a winner on both. I think they sweep Washington in that one. And then the Angels in Texas. Hey, look at that little bit of hope for Texas. And then the Angels come to town and they beat you. So I'm going to take the Angels here first 5. Anderson had a good start to the season, but his last few hasn't been so well. He's definitely given up some runs. For him, he gets in trouble with the walk. And I think this is one of those ones he can get some Texas batters to chase some bad pitches and not get in trouble with the walk. Because you look his last few starts, he's had given up 13 walks over his last 4. He did get a no decision, went 4 innings last time out, and again got in trouble with the walk and gave up 2 home runs, gave up 4 runs in that one. But I think he can hold down this Texas team. Give me Tyler Anderson and the Angels first 5 in that one.
Yeah, from Rod, and we go on over to Steve.
Okay, start with the Pirates. I agree. I'm a huge Keller guy. He's kind of been hit up a little bit as a late, but I think he can handle this Nationals lineup, no problem. So I'll take Pittsburgh on that one. And what I was just doing, Philly. Did we just did?
Philly, Marlins, Angels, Rangers. Yeah.
Phillies, Marlins. Okay. -2.5. I mean, I'd also go Phillies team total over. I think they're just going to slam the crap out of Miami today. It's not even going to be pretty. So I go Phillies team total over and the -2.5 as well. Not much to say about that. It's just a terrible pitching matchup and, like you said, a revenge spot. And Angels, Rangers. I'm going to go the over in this one. I think Anderson might pitch all right to begin with, and but I think Texas will get a couple on him. And then when the bullpen comes in, they'll get more. And with Leiter in there, I think the Angels can hit this. I can see a 5-4, 6-4 game here. I would also lean to the Angels as well for the plus money, just because I'm not a Leiter fan. So I'll take the Angels.
Yeah, from Steve, the way I look at this one, I'm going to go game 2, Nats and Pirates over. Parker, past 4 starts, an ERA near 7. You look at Keller over his past 7, ERA 7.5. Both bullpens in poor form. This will be game 2 of a doubleheader. So the bullpen arms will say we may not get the best quality arms here in game 2 of this doubleheader. So I'll go over in that spot. in that one. Again, run line here with Philadelphia. I know someone in the comments said extendo clip. Yeah, if you want to go extendo clip, especially for Phillies team who'll get 9 at bats, I wouldn't mind that either as well. Nola pretty better form right now here against McCann, who has been pounded in his 6 games. That he's an ERA of 8, a WHIP of 2. So I'll look at the extendo there in that spot. And those are the 2 that I like. This Angels-Texas game, I would lean Texas, but I'm not really crazy about it because, as we talked about yesterday, Texas is in that casket, but sometimes they want to get out of it. So it's hard to say with that Texas team. All right, we'll continue here on the morning show as we get ready for the next series of games here on this 16-game Major League Baseball card. Next series of games will be Rockies, Brewers, Twins, Royals, White Sox, and Red Sox. We'll start with Rod.
Yeah, look at the ones in the spot. I'm going to go. I like the over here in Seattle and St. Louis. Logan Gilbert on the mound for Seattle. I believe he can give up a few. His last time out, he went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, 4 earned runs, gave up a home run. He's has one good, one bad run. I just don't like Logan Gilbert on the road. 4-5 with a 3.95 ERA. His last 3, he's got a over 5 ERA. So I like the over in that one as Gibby's on the mound, and I think those Seattle bats can definitely get to Gibson as well in that one. So take the over 7. And Minnesota and Kansas City, it's one of those ones where, hey, the Kansas City got themselves a win last time out, and the Twins just continue to struggle over their last few games. So I'm going to go to the Royals at the plus price at home here. Ober has been good, but I've seen Ober at times where he's given up runs. He did bounce back against Toronto, went 6 innings, but again, trouble with the walk. When Ober starts walking, guys, yikes. And he's given up 5 walks in his last couple. And he's also got given up 10 earned runs over the last couple. And the home run balls got to him. So give me the Royals in that one. And take Witt Jr. to hit a home run as well. I think he crushes one out of the park in that one today. 2 I like that.
That from Ron. We're going over to Steve.
All right, Rockies, Brewers. I lock on the road. Yeah, just give me Milwaukee on the run line. I'm never taking the Rockies on the road. So, and the Brewers need the game. Lock's not a good pitcher. I can't see how that's not a run line spot, so I will take that. Mariners, Cardinals. I agree with the over 7 there. Gilbert is pretty inconsistent, and Gibson I've never been really a big fan of. So one way or another, I couldn't pick a side on this one. So one way or another, I could see this that going over 7. Twins versus Royals. I really don't have anything on that. I don't like that game at all.
All right, there we go from Steve, and I'll tell you what I think about the games in this slot. The Rockies and Brewers. I'm going to go under the total in this one. Milwaukee's getting really good work out of their bullpen. The Rockies bullpen, believe it or not, here had pretty good form over the past 10 as well. ERA 3.38. Rockies have gone under in 12 of 18. And Brewers have struggled at the plate here over the past 10. Of course, we know the Rockies struggling to hit the ball on the road, 216 average. Myers allowed 2 earned runs or fewer in 8 of his past 9 starts. Go under there. Go under with this White Sox and Red Sox game that went 3-1 yesterday. It didn't surprise me because both teams are not hitting. And Chicago's gone under here in 7 of 9. Crochet has allowed 2 earned runs or fewer in 4 of 5. Criswell here is allowed 2 earned runs or fewer in 7 of 8. And, of course, as I said, both teams not hitting right now under in that one. Twins and Royals. I'll take the Twins in this spot. Actually, was that the game? I think we had that one here. Let me double check here in that slot. I did have the Twins and Royals. Yeah, Twins, Royals there. We'll go Twins in this spot. Ober, past 10 starts, whip of .89. Marsh is someone I don't like to back. And the Royals have lost 7 of 9. That's what I look for, though. Those are the games that I like in that slot. All right, let's continue on here. We'll close out baseball here with the games in the later sessions. We'll cover 4 in this slot because we'll cover the final 4. Mariners, Cardinals, Blue Jays, Braves, Giants, Padres, Guardians, Dodgers. We start with Rod.
Yeah, my bad. I jumped a slot with Seattle Cardinals, so I still like the over in that one. Logan Gilbert can give it up, so can Gibby. So at a 7, I like us getting to 8, 9. runs in that one. So take the over of Seattle, St. Louis. And you look at Toronto with Barrios on the mound against Schwelly. It's an Atlanta team, definitely. It was a close battle in that one, low-scoring one. I would lean to an under 8 in that one. The bats definitely cooled off for Toronto. And Barrios on the mound. Slow down this Schwelly. Schwelling back is definitely has ups and downs around and look pretty good at times for the Braves. So I like the under 8 in that one. And I'm going to just give me the Padres here over the Giants. I think it with Cease on the mound. We know we've seen some the greatest from Cease over his last few, but I think this is one of those turnaround spots. They still get up when he starts. You give up a few, give up 3, give up 4. His last 2, he gets in trouble with the walk. Does Cease? He was walked 7 guys in his last 2 starts over 9 innings of work. So that's what happens. He gets himself in trouble and puts some guys on base, and it's whether he pitches out of those jams, and I think he does here in that one. So give me the Padres in the run line because I think he gets a little bit of run support from the Padres in that one. And you know what? Just give me Alex Cobb and the Guardians over whoever's starting for the Dodgers TBD. I don't want to lay whatever that is with the Dodgers. Alex Cobb's been pitching very well.
It might be Wroblewski. It might be it's expected would be Wroblewski, who's just been pounded, so he may be.
Oh, it's awful. Even worse. So give me Alex Cobb and the Guardians, who are definitely turning it up. It's like they're the one that's stepping up in the spot and going, "Hey, we can beat the Dodgers. We're gonna sweep the Dodgers if the Dodgers don't wake up." And I like the Guardians here in this one. I think Alex Cobb has a good start, mows them down, and keeps those Dodgers bats down. And the Guardians, watch out. We know what they did at the start of the season with those bats. They can get hot, and I think they get hot here, especially with some of the Dodgers' questionable pitching. I would lean to an over, but the Dodgers bats looking pretty cool in that first game. I think the Guardians pitching can mow them down, and I would lean to an under there as well.
Yeah, from Rob, we gone over to Steve.
Yeah, I guess I got ahead with it. I did the same thing. I followed him ahead of the game there with Mariners Cardinals. Like I said, I have the over there. We are going Blue Jays, Braves. I like the Braves at home here. I don't trust Toronto on the road too much. I know Barrios is pitching well, but Schwellenbach is equally as good, and I trust Atlanta's bats right now over the Jays. So give me the Atlanta on that one. Also Padres, yeah. I'm going to go with the Padres here at home. Dylan Cease, he kind of cooled off a little bit, but at home in this spot, I think he's going to deal really well. So I'll take San Diego there. And I didn't know who the pitching matchup was for the Dodgers and Guardians. And after you guys just told me, I got to take the Guardians for sure. That is a big pitching mismatch. I'll take them first 5, and I'll take them full game. Did I miss anybody?
We got let's see. Well, we got them all 4 games, right? Mariners, St. Louis, Toronto, Atlanta, Giants, Pods, and Dodgers, Guardians. Right, the ones I like here in the slot. Well, we've got I'll take the Mariners here at the plus price. Gibson over his past 4 starts, 16 runs allowed in 23 innings, and we look here at this Seattle team. They've had their struggles, no doubt. They've lost 13 of 18 on the road. Cardinals won 6 of 9, but the Mariners just hitting 220 against right-handed starters. So out of that one, I'll just take the Cardinals in that spot. Toronto and Atlanta just continue the unders with these Atlanta Braves team because they get good pitching and they can hit. And Barrios in a pretty good form right now. So I'll look at the under in that spot, and I'll just look at the Padres to get the win here. You look at the Giants; they're just not hitting the baseball right now. Over their past 10, hitting 194. We look at Webb here, past 3 starts, 12 earned runs allowed in 19 innings. And Cease has been pretty solid at home in his past 4 home starts. Where he's had his troubles been on the road, but at home, a solid performance last 4 home. And his Guardians, Dodgers, I'm going to go over the total in this one. In that one, as we talked about, Wroblewski he's been bad. And the Dodgers right now with Stone getting injured now, they're really strapped here for pitching. Fortunately, they expanded the rosters here in September. They're going to need to. But you look at Wroblewski, past 2 starts, 14 runs, 5 homers, and 10 third innings. The Dodger bullpen getting taxed up a little bit over that period of time. Their ERA has creeped up over 4. And the Guardians' ERA is approaching 4 over this period of time. And the Dodgers, they've gone over in 7-9. So look at the Dodgers and Cleveland to go over the total. I think it's 8.5 last I saw. Now it's up to 9. Doesn't surprise me. now that Robleski's being blurted out as a possible starter in this one. All right, let's continue here on our morning show. I apologize to WNBA. I missed it yesterday on the show, Rod. Forgot to get WNBA in, but we're not going to forget today.
I know we totally forgot about WNBA, so hopefully you tuned into the drive-through later in the afternoon. But the little 2-teamer was money. The Lynx looked real good. And the Aces saying, hey, don't forget about us. We're going to make a statement with the Suns. So
down to the final 6 games remaining before we get to the postseason with the WNBA. And it's not too bad because there's midweek action, right? So football's on the weekend, so I'm not so worried about the postseason and WNBA because it can just it's just going to make September more exciting during the week. So, right, tonight, single game tonight, Mercury and Storm, 9 Eastern time. We got the Storm about 6.5, 7, total 164. We'll start with Rod.
Yeah, and this one, I shot a video on this one, so definitely go check it out. And I haven't changed my opinion on this one. You look at this Seattle Storm team, and something's got to give between these two teams. You look, the Mercury, 0-6 ATS, their last 6 versus a team with a losing record. The Storm, 0-7 ATS, their last 7 versus a team with a losing record. But you look at offensively and defensively, the Seattle Storm team averages 85.9 points a game at home. And defensively, they only hold teams to 74 points a game. And, well, that's a double-digit mismatch there for me. Phoenix on the road, they only score about 79 points a game. Well, defensively, they give up 86 points a game. So I've got Seattle scoring into the 90s in this one, and Phoenix just not being able to keep up. And Seattle by double digits is what I made this out at. And you only got to lay it opened at 5.5 up to 6.5 in books and rising for good reason. Seattle at home is where they play their best hoops. Lay it with the Storm. I think they win by double digits.
All right, there, Rod on the Storm. I have any thoughts on that one, Steve, and the W tonight?
Yeah, same thing. I like the Storm at home. And didn't the Mercury they seem to have played a lot of basketball as well too. So I think I could be wrong, but I think the Storm are better rested and they kick ass at home. Mercury, I don't think there's much they're going to do to stop them here. So go Storm, probably team total over, depending on what that is as well. I would do that.
Yeah, that one I'm going to look under here with the Storm and the Seattle. Seattle coming off that East Coast road trip. They did finish it off on Thursday, playing the Liberty, winning. That was a tough one. They played Connecticut twice, then they faced the Liberty. They beat Connecticut in the second game. But one thing with the Mercury is they're playing at a very slow. They're playing at the slowest pace since the Olympic break. And why? Because they've got a little bit of age on that team, right? So they're at a very slow pace right now. So I think pace of play comes into play here with the Mercury. And, of course, Seattle, first home game after that 3-game road trip. We may be a little sluggish there as well. Okay, because the ladies got things to do, too, when they come off road trips, too, not just the guys.
Yeah, exactly, right? They might have a little more to do. They might have a little more to do than what we do coming off of road trips, right?
Yeah, that's right. There. So I'll look at the under in that one. All right, we got you through it all, guys. College football. We got you through the WNBA, got you through baseball. So let's find out what the guys have for sale. Rod, what do you got for sale over at Tony's Picks?
And over Tony's Picks, I've got my 10-star play of the day. We're 40 and 30 on it over the last 70, so definitely scoop that up. It's included in some packages. I got a 3-pack. I've got a 5-pack. I think I've got 7, 8, maybe 9 college football plays. Definitely loaded card. Grab on something long-term. 2-for-1 capper promotional, definitely the way to go. But that 3-day pass gets you everything I got going Saturday, gets you the NFL tomorrow, gets you Monday's action as well. So usually that 3-day pass turns into like a 4-day pass for me because I get things in there early. So you get some plays on that 4th day as well. So jump aboard, grab that 3-day pass, and let's have a big weekend ahead.
For the big weekend. All right, Steve, what you got for sale?
I have 2 football picks for the NFL. One of them is a best bet. I have 1 best bet in baseball, and so far 4 picks in baseball altogether. I'll be putting a package together as well for baseball. And, of course, it's ending here very soon. So I have that absolute incredible value of the full hockey season for $250. And that's hockey is my number one sport. I love it and I'm passionate about it. Green every year by a long shot, and you can get it for $250. And of course, you can get even 15% off on that. But that's coming off soon. And when it does come off, it's going to be going up more like $750. So you better get in on it now.
So I got aboard with Steve in the hockey NHL package starting next month, and the training camp starting up. I know there's a preseason game about 10 minutes from my house with the Kings and Ducks. I think I'll be checking that out. So get notification of that. So looking forward to the hockey season here at the TonySpix.com. I got a best bet on the board right now from college football, also a 3-pack. We're looking for some more action as well. But again, that's we've been talking about the long-term passes are your best value right now, guys, with all these sports overlapping, college football, NFL, Major League Baseball, the W as well. So get on board. Remember that promo code Tony T at checkout will save you that 15% off. All right, we got to the show. Before we go, this is what we call our parlay peripheral segment. Rod, we'll start with Rod.
So parlay peripheral segment, we're going to go right to the CFL. There's actually 3 games in the CFL today. So some more football action for you. We're looking at Toronto taking on Ottawa here in this one. And Toronto, they got beat last time out. So I'm looking for a bounce back. And they bounced back very nicely. They are 28-3 ATS following an ATS loss. Toronto's also 5-0 ATS coming into Ottawa. So lay it with the Boatman. I like the Argos on the money line in that one. And this Winnipeg football team, they've turned things around. It was ugly in Saskatchewan for that game. Fans were fighting in the stands, beating each other up. So no love lost between Saskatchewan and Winnipeg. And definitely there was a little bit of a dirty hit on Colaros. So this Winnipeg team's going to be a little bit mad. And they love to beat up on Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan won 6 ATS the last 7 trips into Winnipeg. Not a good position for Saskatchewan. And you only have to lay 2.5. Take it with Winnipeg to beat up on Saskatchewan again. And then we got the rematch here where the Elks thoroughly beat up on Calgary. And now that you got to lay 4 with Calgary in that one. Calgary going to start a new quarterback. Bonner going to get the start for Calgary. I don't know if that was a good move by Calgary in this one. Because the Elks are coming. And they want to separate themselves from Calgary and put themselves in position to make the playoffs and maybe surprise teams to maybe come out of the West. But it's going to be tough going against BC. But I love them to beat up on Calgary again. If Calgary wouldn't have changed their QB, I probably would have been on Calgary because you're getting the +4. I think Calgary can keep it close. Calgary is 5-0 ATS their last 5 trips into Edmonton. But now with that new QB in there, the Elks are going to run it up on them again in that one. Give me the Elks by a touchdown.
All right, there from Rod. We go over to Steve here. Parlay or peripheral pick in the future. What do you got?
I'll do a 3-pick parlay in baseball. I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't know we were doing this. But, I'll take Phillies money line, Brewers on the run line, and Houston money line.
There from Steve. All right, I'll give I'll give you a 3-teamer here. I like the Dodgers Guardians over Nevada in college football, and the under I gave you in the Storm here, as well as the Mercury tonight, WNBA. So 3-part team parlay. Talk about the video series up there, Rod. I know you're putting together. You got WNBA up on the Tony Spix YouTube channel.
Yeah, definitely. Looking for WNBA. Well, I'll have you covered on videos on Tony Spix. So definitely go check those out. We'll cover a few more going forward too as we jump back into things. Starting to feel good. So I don't mind shooting a few more videos on a few more sports. So definitely check it out at Tony's Picks. Check out those videos coming forward.
That's right, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, set those notifications, so when we drop these videos, you get them right away. Well, I know Steve will be very busy in the NHL season. Ben was on-demand videos with all contributed a live show. But Steve, I saw that you also put together some NHL futures up there over on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, and I've actually got some time today. I'm probably going to be doing a couple more. Really recommend you go check out the Alex Ovechkin future that is out there. I think it's a banger, and you're getting plus money on it. So go check it out.
Check it out, guys. Like, subscribe, set those notifications so we get all this great content here from our great cappers here at Tony'sPicks.com. And you know it's for sale, so check out, get on board with Rod and Steve. Maybe that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Remember the promo code PICK saves you promo code Tony T at checkout. We'll save you that 15%. I may even throw that in there as a promo code in case we confuse you guys. I may even put that in there. All right, that's going to do it for the show tonight, guys. Back again tomorrow, NFL and more. Anyway, goodbye, guys. You guys make it a winning afternoon and nights, and we'll talk with you again tomorrow here on the morning show here on Tony's Fix YouTube.